now we come to our last presentation. So after writing your paper, after writing your phenomenological research, we come to the last part. No, this is the end goal of all researches, and this is what we want to happen, no, in our research to get published. No? So publishing phenomenological research. How do we select journals? How do we understand the peer review process, and how do we respond to feedback? Now, actually, for some of you here, I am pretty sure that most of you have already published papers. So this is just a little review, and some, I think you already know about this, no? For some of my colleagues there in colleagues before there in SLSU, no? I know they are very well versed in publishing because they have published a lot already. So just allow me to discuss this. No? So our agenda here is first to select. How do we select an appropriate journal for submission? How do we understand the peer review process? And how do we respond to reviewers' feedback? And how do we revise our paper? So, publishing phenomenological research involves careful selection of journals. Yeah, the selection of journals alone, no, is very crucial because sometimes if you did have not selected the right journal, you get rejected outright. No? So this is why this is also very important, not just even just the selection of journal. So how do we select appropriate journals for submission? Now, first is you have to choose the right journal for your phenomenological research, and it is critical for reaching your intended audience and ensuring your work is reviewed by experts familiar with qualitative methodologies. No? Because if you're a qualitative researcher and then somebody from the quantitative field reviewing your work, then sometimes you get rejected immediately, no? Because they have a different perspective and they have a different background. That's why make sure that you are submitting to a qualitative journal. No? So first is you have to identify your target journal. You start by identifying journals that publish qualitative research, particularly those that specialize in phenomenological or interpretive studies. Now look for journals with a strong focus on social sciences. Yeah, social sciences. And then after finding a target journal, of course, you have to look at its how do you call this indexing. Yeah, there be Scopus or Web of Science, no, or ACI. You have also to consider that, especially now in the academe, in the university, we are required, to publish at least one Scopus authorship before we cross the bridge from associate professorship to full professor. So that is why it is also very important. Another is you have to match your research to the journal scope. You have to read the journal. You have to read the scope of the journal and make sure that your journal aligns with your research topic and methods. Yeah, just to make sure. And then another is you have to consider the impact factor and readership. While um, consider the journal's readership, so the relevance of your work to the journal's audience, because from reading the parts and the information of the journal, you will be able to comprehend the audience of the journal. No? So make sure that this audience is also your audience. Yeah. And then you review the submission guidelines. No? So when you open the journal page, the web page of the journal, there is a section there about the authors, and when you click that, there's also submission guidelines. Yeah. Now you follow the journal's formatting and submission guidelines. So this includes formatting requirements, word limits, the style of citation. So if you want to be accepted, you have to follow those guidelines, because some who do not follow the guidelines and submit, well, they also have they are rejected immediately. Desk rejection like when a student passed the paper to us and then we said, this is a wrong format, don't accept it immediately. So that will also happen to our paper if we do not follow the submission guidelines. Then understanding the peer review process. Now there are several types of review process. No? Types of peer review. There is the single blind, only one reviewer. You have double blind, two reviewers, and an open review processes. No? It's called blind because the reviewer do not know the author. That's why when you submit your paper, you will be asked to delete your name, so that the review process is blind. No? The reviewers, in a single blind review, reviewers know the identity of the authors, but the authors do not know the reviewers. This is the most common form. No? While double blind review, neither the authors nor the reviewers know each other's identity, now which helps to minimize bias. While there is also an open review, both the reviewers and the authors are known to each other, promoting transparency. So the review process, no? So first is your manuscript is initially reviewed by the journal's editor, and who checks for fit and basic quality. From the journal's editor, you are already given some revisions like grammar, like structure also, no? Before they send it for review, and some get rejected, no, at this phase if it does not correspond to the journal. Now, if the paper passes this initial check, it is sent to two or more reviewers, with expertise in the field. So the reviewers then assess the paper based on the criteria such as the significance of the research question, the methodological rigor. That's why you have to make sure that to be transparent, to be clear, to be detailed in your methodology, and the clarity of presentation and the potential contribution to the field. So these are the things that the reviewers will really look. Of course, the academic rigor of your paper. Now, what are the common outcomes of a peer review? So first, will be most of the time this is what I experienced, acceptance with minor revisions, but there are also acceptance with major revisions. So you have to accept and you have to revise again and again, until they get satisfied. So you have also acceptance with major revisions. The paper is promising but requires significant revisions before it can be accepted. There is also revise and resubmit. The paper has potential but needs substantial reworking. So while there is also rejection, and you know what, rejection is the norm in publication. The paper is not suitable for a journal and will not be published. So sometimes it is very crucial to really select the journal where you will be submitting your paper, because if it's not in line with the journal, automatically you will be rejected. Yeah. And then there are also other journals that will ask you that the references that you will be citing should also be around 60% of those should be coming from their journal. So it is very important to read the submission guidelines, and you have also to be aware of the journals who are predatory journals. Now these are journals who are not really into quality, but they are more of the payment publication fee. These are journals who are for business, and these are not really for academic purposes journals. And there's a list of that. If you want to know, there's a list of predatory journals, and there is also a list of Scopus journals and ACI journals, where you can confirm if the journal that you have selected is legit or just a predatory journal. Then how do you respond to the reviewer's feedback, and how do you revise your paper? First, you carefully read the feedback and do not get discouraged. Now reflect on the reviewer's comments and identify key themes, so that you will not be discouraged, and do it one by one. And then some would ask for a detailed response letter no? Address each reviewer's comments and explain how revisions were made. No? But for some, it's not a detailed response letter, but they will give you an action taken form, no? Wherein you will write on the other part the feedback, and then on the other part, what have you done? You know? So there in the actions taken part, the remarks, discuss there uh, what you have done based on their feedback, and if ever you do not want to revise it because you think you're right and the reviewer is wrong, you can explain and justify yourself there. And then next, you revise the manuscript, clearly indicate changes in the manuscript, and explain disagreements politely also. So I know you have experiences about this. Now I have experienced that one reviewer accepted it outright while the other reviewer rejected it outright. Now there are only two reviewers. Now I don't know what to do. So if I will follow the second reviewer, um, I will be contradicting the reviews of the first reviewer. No? So there are things that are like this. No? And then final submission, resubmit the manuscript with the response letter, be prepared for another peer review round, and be prepared for another rejection. And not rejection, be prepared for another revision. Be prepared for another revision because that's the process of publication, either rejected or accepted, then revised, then revised, then revised, and revised. And then after acceptance of the paper, you go again to the editorial, no? And then finishing touches before it gets published, no? So that is how you have publishing in research journals. Conclusion: first, the most very important, the most very important is to select journals that align with your research scope and align with your audience. That is why you have to read what the journal is about and who are its audience. You have to understand the peer review process and be prepared for different outcomes. Now you read the review procedure, because this data is also available in the website of the journal. And then respond constructively to reviewer feedback and revise your paper accordingly. And lastly, do not get discouraged, because rejection and revision is the norm in publication. So I think that's about all. And if you want to know more about these contents and other lectures, I have a YouTube channel wherein you can follow and subscribe, for more contents like this. And this PowerPoints now. This training will also be. I will also be uploading this in the YouTube channel for that, so that anytime that you want to return to this discussion, you can always find it in the YouTube channel. So if you have questions, also if you need assistance, you can email me or you can message me in at the YouTube channel, and for sure, and we will I will answer to that, and we will communicate. I will tell what's best, and if you need advices for consultation. Okay, so for those who are from FCU, the faculty of FCU, and those graduate students from FCU, I think you need to submit your proposals to your professors, graduate school professors. And for the faculty of FCU, I think you'll be presenting your proposals this coming Saturday. So see you on Saturday. Thank you. And for the rest, you can also make your own proposals, and you can send it to me, and I will somehow find time to comment. Thank you, and have a good day, everyone.